Gremlins, it's Mrs. Porter. I'm here to show you how to make a sourdough bread starter. If you look back to my lessons that I posted a few weeks ago, it would have been the week before spring break, I shared a book with you on the grades 3 through 5 post. And the book was called Bread Lab. And in this book, a young girl in the story makes bread with her aunt from scratch. Now, many of you probably have heard that there are a shortage of certain items at the grocery store, yeast being one of those, and yeast is pretty important when making bread. So I want to show you that you don't need yeast to make bread. In fact, you can just use flour and water. And I tried to think of something that used ingredients that almost everybody should have in their house. So in this particular recipe, which I did share again on that link that week, it called for whole wheat flour. I want you to know you can use any kind of flour, but they said that whole wheat produced the most bubbles. So let's give it a try. I have here a large mason jar. You can use any kind of container, but this is a little on the small side, so as it grows, I probably will switch it off into a larger container. I have a 1/4 cup of water. It's already measured, and so it's really important that you use a measuring cup until you get really good at this recipe, and then you can just kind of eyeball it. I have my measuring cups. I took out the 1/2 cup measuring cup. I have my flour here. So what's going to happen is I'm going to add a 1/2 cup of flour into this jar. Hopefully I won't make a big mess. I do love to cook. I love to bake. I haven't been baking very much lately because I'm afraid that I'm going to be the one who eats it all. But when I'm in my kitchen, this is my kitchen, by the way. When I'm here in my kitchen, I am a stickler about messes. So I always make sure I have paper towel down on my surface. My kids will tell you all the time that, you know, when they start to help me, the first thing I say is, get a paper towel, get something to put down. And of course, as always, wash your hands. I did just wash my hands before I started this. So let's get started. All right, here is and again, in the video I posted for you, the woman that did this used a funnel. And I thought, this jar is wide enough. I should be able to do it without a funnel, but I can see why. Oh, and I forgot a spoon, so I will need that. All right, this should do it. Let's add the 1/4 cup. I'm a little bit nervous because I have never made this before. I've never made bread from scratch before. We do have a bread machine, and we do like to make our bread in the bread machine every now and then. And we did put it to use in the last month, and that bread was very delicious, I will say. But it's, you know, it takes hours and hours to cook, and you do need yeast for those recipes unless you have a sourdough starter. Now, as in the video, my dough is quite dry with just a 1/4 cup of water, so I'm going to add a little bit more. Let's see if this helps. And since I'm no expert, I'm just going to do a little bit at a time. She did say that the consistency should be like pancake batter. So my husband just made pancakes this morning, so I did see what that batter was like, and it's a little thinner than biscuit batter. So you want to make sure that it has, you can stir it a little bit, and I will take a picture of this and include it in this video. So this is all it takes: flour and water. And I know I said when I use my bread machine I have to wait several hours, or maybe I didn't say that, but you do. When you make it in the bread machine, you have to wait several hours for it to first rise and then to bake. So waiting is the game here. You have to do this and let it sit for a day. And it looks like I'm getting to that consistency. So it was almost a 1/2 cup of water with our whole wheat flour. I am excited to see what happens. The thing we want to look for is bubbles forming inside of this jar. So tomorrow, around this time, I'm going to look inside my jar. I'm going to see if there are bubbles, and if there are, I'm going to feed this dough, which means I'm going to add another 1/2 cup of flour and 1/4 to a 1/2 cup of water as well, and stir it up. So this is my starter. I'm really excited to see how this turns out. and hopefully I can impress my family. Now in the video, she did mention you could cover this loosely with the lid that it comes with, but she also said she likes to take paper towel and just band it around there. I have a bunch of rubber bands. I'm gonna go look for one now, and then this is going to just sit on my counter for the next 24 hours. Tomorrow I'll take a look at it and I'll see if there are bubbles. And again, if there are, I will feed it. About a week into the process, maybe even 5 days or so, it will be ready to be put into a pan and add a couple more ingredients, and you'll be able to make a loaf of bread by yourself. I hope that you can try some of these things. I'm going to be posting more videos in the future. Please look for a new segment I'm going to have on this site called Fun for One. I know many of you are stuck home and maybe you don't have siblings that you can play with. Maybe you don't want to play with your siblings always, but the idea behind it is to give you some tips and things you can do to continue to have fun while you're at home and maybe learn something new. Hopefully this is something that you want to try. Good luck, and please share pictures of your own starter dough or anything you're doing at home that pertains to any of the lessons that I've posted. I love hearing from you. I'm not a classroom teacher, so I don't get to meet with you on a regular basis. And so please share with me either through that Gmail account, which is kspor@teachers.kusd.edu, or you can send it to kspor@kusd.edu. Either way, please share with me any pictures or any comments or anything that you've done if you've tried any of these things from the lesson, or even if you just like the stories that were shared. All right, good luck with your starter dough. I hope to see some pictures, and I'll be back soon. Bye.